All right, welcome back to Talkin Shirt, the Contract DTG podcast. I'm Mo, and as always, I'm here with Mark Beletnikoff. Today, we're diving into something that honestly makes or breaks your business, quality control. And I don't mean just checking the shirt at the end and hoping for the best. We're talking about every single step, starting with artwork prep and pre-press. Mark, you ever get that gut feeling when a file comes in and you just know something's off?
Oh, all the time, Mo. I mean, you see a logo come through and it's, 72 DPI? You zoom in and it's just a pixelated mess. I had this one job, big client, like make or break, for their brand launch. They sent over their logo, and I swear it looked like it was pulled off a website from 2002. If we hadn't caught it, that would have been a disaster. We had to go back, explain why we needed a high-res file, minimum 300 DPI, right? And walk them through color profiles, Adobe RGB, sRGB, all that. It took some back and forth, but we saved their launch and honestly, probably their reputation.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People think you just hit print and magic happens, but if you don't pre-flight those files, check the PPI, make sure the color profiles are right, you're just setting yourself up for wasted shirts and angry emails. I always tell clients, look, if you want it to look good, you got to give us something good to work with. And sometimes that means a little tough love, but it's better than eating the cost of a bad run.
Exactly. And it's not just about the file either. It's about communication. If you don't set expectations up front, like, hey, this is what we need, this is what'll happen if we don't get it, you're just asking for trouble. I mean, we've talked about this before, Mo, but that back and forth with the client, that's where you catch the big mistakes before they become expensive problems.
Totally. And honestly, it's not just about saving your own skin, it's about protecting the client's brand too. If you let something slide, it reflects on both of you. So, yeah, pre press isn't glamorous, but it's where you win or lose the game. And Mark, I got to say, catching that low res logo, that's the kind of thing that keeps people coming back.
So, let's say you got the artwork dialed in. Now comes the fun part, actually putting ink to shirt. But man, if you think the hard part's over, you're in for a surprise. Color accuracy, that's a whole science. Pantone matching, color calibration, spectrodensitometers. Try saying that 3 times fast. If your machine's not dialed in, you can have the best file in the world and still end up with a mess.
Yeah, and it's not just the tech either, it's the process. I mean, you got to have systems like, are you doing live press approvals? Are you checking registration and color at regular intervals, or just hoping for the best? I remember you telling me about that run where the color started drifting halfway through. What happened there?
Oh, that was a nightmare. We were running a big batch, and about a third of the way in, I noticed the blue was just off, like not even close to the approved proof. We stopped the press, recalibrated everything, checked the ink, checked the heads, even checked the humidity in the shop. Turns out the machine had drifted just enough to throw everything out of whack. If we hadn't caught it, we'd have had to redo the whole job. That's why you got to have those checks built in, not just at the start, but all the way through.
And that's where the tools come in, right? Spectrodensitometers, colorimeters, all that stuff. It's not just for show, it's how you make sure what you see on the screen is what ends up on the shirt. And honestly, if you're not documenting your production parameters, like what settings you used, what the environment was like, you're just guessing, and guessing doesn't pay the bills.
Nope. And let's not forget about misregistration. You get one screen out of alignment, or your DTG heads aren't aligned, everything skips a beat, and suddenly you've got ghosting or blurry prints. That's why regular equipment checks and maintenance are non-negotiable. It's like we talked about in that lean manufacturing episode. If you don't have structure and employees that care, you get chaos, and chaos is expensive.
Yeah, and it's not just about fixing problems, it's about preventing them. Structured color matching, regular maintenance, and honestly, just paying attention. That's what separates the pros from the hobbyists. And if you want to be in this for the long haul, you got to treat every print like it's going on your own back. All right, so you've made it through the print run, but don't get cocky. Post-production is where a lot of folks drop the ball. You need a real quality assurance checklist. I'm talking final inspection for defects, checking against the client specs, making sure the packaging isn't going to fall apart in transit. If you skip this, all that work you did up front, wasted.
Yeah, and you got to document everything. If there's a defect, you write it down. If you fix something, you note it. That way, if a customer comes back with a complaint, you can actually trace what happened. It's not about covering your butt. Well, okay, sometimes it is, but it's also about learning and improving. If you see the same issue pop up, that's a sign you need to tweak your process or maybe invest in new tech.
Speaking of tech, have you seen what AI and automation are doing for quality control now? Real-time defect detection, predictive maintenance, all that jazz. I mean, it's not just for the big guys anymore. Even smaller shops can use AI-powered image analysis to catch stuff the human eye might miss. That means fewer complaints, less rework, and happier customers.
And don't forget the feedback loop. If you're not asking your customers how you're doing, you're missing out. Sometimes they'll spot things you didn't, or they'll tell you what really matters to them. That info is gold, plus ongoing staff training, keeping up with new tech, new standards, best practices. It's like if you're not learning, you're falling behind. Simple as that.
Yeah, and honestly, it's about building a culture where people aren't afraid to speak up if they see something off. I've seen shops where folks are scared to say, hey, this doesn't look right, and that's how you end up with 1,000 shirts you can't sell. Empower your team, keep learning, and don't be afraid to invest in quality. That's what sets you apart. And hey, if you want to see what real quality looks like, get a quote at contract-dtg.com. Mark, anything else before we wrap?
Now, I think you nailed it, Mo. Quality control isn't just a checklist, it's a mindset. If you want to stay in this game, you got to care about every step. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll catch you next time.
All right, Mark, always a pleasure. Thanks for listening, folks. We'll be back with more Real Talk soon. Take care.